Imagine a time, millions upon millions of years ago, when the world map looked very different. Our India was not where we see it today. It was part of a giant supercontinent called Gondwana, nestled snugly with Africa, Australia, and Antarctica. But, the Earth is a restless planet, always shifting and changing its face. Deep beneath the surface, immense forces were at play, pulling the land masses apart. Slowly, piece by piece, the great continent began to fracture. India broke away, becoming a colossal island, a lonely ark, adrift on the vast, ancient Tethys Ocean. This journey was not a swift one. It was a slow, majestic voyage that lasted for millennia. As this landmass sailed northwards, it carried with it a precious cargo of life. The animals and plants on this island ark were isolated from the rest of the world. They were passengers on a very long journey, evolving in solitude. For millions of years, they lived and died on this moving continent, adapting to its unique conditions without any influence from outside. This long period of isolation is the first secret to understanding why India's wildlife is so wonderfully unique. It was a world unto itself, a self-contained biological experiment drifting across the globe, nurturing species that would one day become part of a much larger, more diverse ecosystem. The climate on this island continent was warm and wet, fostering lush forests and sprawling swamps. Prehistoric creatures, ancestors of some animals we might recognize, roamed this isolated land. Think of ancient reptiles and primitive mammals, developing their own distinct characteristics, cut off from the evolutionary pathways being forged on other continents. This long, solitary journey was a crucial chapter in our natural history. It was a time of quiet development, a period where the foundations of India's endemic biodiversity were laid down, waiting for the day when this wandering land would finally meet its destination and a new story would begin. This epic voyage across the ocean is a tale written in the rocks and fossils buried deep within our land. Scientists have pieced together this incredible story by studying the geological record, finding clues that tell us about this ancient journey. The animals that traveled on this ark were the original inhabitants, the first chapter of India's wild legacy. They were the pioneers, the survivors of a planetary breakup, whose descendants would witness one of the most dramatic geological events in Earth's history. Their isolation was the key, creating a living laboratory that would eventually collide with another world, sparking an explosion of life. Hello friends, welcome to Moradabad Wildlife Window, where every day opens a new window into the wild world. Come along with us to explore the amazing wildlife stories of Moradabad and its surroundings. After its long and lonely journey across the vast ocean, the Indian subcontinent finally approached the great landmass of Asia. The meeting was not a gentle one. It was a collision of epic proportions, a geological spectacle that would forever change the face of the planet. Imagine two giants meeting in a slow, powerful embrace. The force of this impact was immense, buckling and folding the Earth's crust. The land that was once the seabed of the Tethys Ocean was thrust upwards, relentlessly, centimeter by centimeter, over millions of years. This monumental crash gave birth to the world's youngest and mightiest mountain range, the majestic Himalayas. This collision was not just a geological event, it was a biological one too. It created a land bridge, connecting the long isolated Indian arc to the sprawling continent of Asia. For the first time in millions of years, the animals of India were no longer alone. The gates of the ark were thrown open, and a great exchange began. Animals from the north, creatures like bears, deer, and wild cats, began to migrate southwards, venturing into this new, unfamiliar land. They followed the newly formed river valleys and mountain passes, exploring the forests and plains that were once part of an island. This was a meeting of two different evolutionary worlds. Simultaneously, the native species of the Indian plate, which had evolved in isolation for so long, began to spread outwards. They encountered new neighbors, new competitors and new predators. This grand mixing of fauna was a dynamic and sometimes competitive process. Some of the original Indian species thrived, adapting to the new arrivals and the changing environment. Others were outcompeted and faded into extinction. This mingling of animals from two distinct lineages, the ancient Gondwana natives and the newer Laurasian immigrants, is the second key to understanding the rich tapestry of Indian wildlife. It created a unique blend of species found nowhere else on Earth. The newly formed Himalayas also became a powerful climatic engine. The towering peaks blocked the cold winds from the north, and they captured the moisture-laden monsoon clouds coming from the south. This created a diverse range of climates and habitats across the subcontinent, from the arid rain-shadow regions to the lush, rain-soaked forests. The mountains themselves became a new frontier for life, with species adapting to live at high altitudes. The Great Collision did more than just join two landmasses. It forged a new, incredibly diverse subcontinent and set the stage for the evolution of the magnificent wildlife we see today. The incredible geological events that shaped India also blessed it with an astonishing variety of landscapes. This diversity of habitats is the canvas upon which the masterpiece of Indian wildlife has been painted. In the far north, the mighty Himalayas stand as silent, icy sentinels. Here, in the realm of snow and rock, life must be hardy to survive. The elusive snow leopard, with its thick, smoky coat, stalks the blue sheep or bharal across treacherous mountain slopes. These high-altitude deserts are a world of stark beauty, where only the most resilient creatures can carve out an existence against the biting cold and thin air. Descending from the mountains, we enter the great northern plains, nurtured by the sacred rivers Ganga and Brahmaputra. This is a fertile land of sprawling grasslands and dense riverine forests. It is the kingdom of the magnificent Asian elephant, which roams in gentle herds, and the one-horned rhinoceros, a prehistoric giant that wallows in muddy pools. The tall grasses provide perfect cover for the swamp deer, or barasingha, while the rivers themselves are home to the rare Gangetic dolphin, a unique freshwater cetacean navigating by sound in the murky waters. This region is a testament to the life-giving power of water in a tropical land. To the west lies the great Indian Thar Desert, a vast expanse of shimmering sand dunes and thorny scrub. It may seem inhospitable, but life has found a way to flourish here as well. The graceful chinkara, or Indian gazelle, can survive with very little water, and the resourceful desert fox hunts under the cool cover of night. The skies here are often filled with the great Indian bustard, a large and critically endangered bird that strides across the arid plains. This desert ecosystem is a fragile world, a showcase of nature's ingenuity in adapting to extreme heat and scarcity, proving that life can thrive even in the harshest of conditions. Finally, we travel south to the Western Ghats, a chain of mountains running along the western coast. These hills are drenched by the monsoon rains, giving rise to some of the most vibrant and dense tropical rainforests on the planet. This is a global hotspot of biodiversity, teeming with life in every layer, from the forest floor to the high canopy. Here you can find the lion-tailed macaque with its silver mane, countless species of colorful frogs, and a dizzying array of exotic birds and insects. Each of these unique worlds, the icy peaks, the fertile plains, the hot desert, and the lush forests, has shaped the evolution of its inhabitants, creating the rich and varied wildlife that makes India so special. India holds a truly remarkable and unique distinction in the world of big cats. It is, in fact, the only country on Earth where both the lion and the tiger, the two most iconic felines, have coexisted in the wild. Historically, their territories overlapped across the northern and central parts of the subcontinent. The Asiatic lion, a slightly smaller cousin of its African relative, preferred the more open, scrubby forests and grasslands. The Bengal tiger, a master of stealth, favored the denser jungles and swampy mangroves. For centuries, these two apex predators shared the landscape, a powerful symbol of India's rich and diverse natural heritage. Today, this incredible coexistence has become a fragile and precious reality, confined to a specific geographical context. The Asiatic lion's last remaining wild population is found exclusively in the Gir forest of Gujarat. This dry, deciduous forest provides the perfect habitat for them. Thanks to dedicated conservation efforts, their numbers have been slowly rising from the brink of extinction. Meanwhile, the Bengal tiger continues to be the lord of the jungle across many parts of the country, from the mangroves of the Sundarbans to the national parks of central India. The idea that these two magnificent predators once competed for prey across the same landscapes really fires the imagination. This presence of both lions and tigers speaks volumes about the sheer richness and productivity of India's ecosystems in the past. For such large carnivores to survive, there must be a vast and healthy population of prey animals: deer, wild boar, and antelope. The fact that India could support both of these super predators is a testament to the abundance that once defined its wilderness. It paints a picture of a land teeming with life, a vibrant ecosystem where multiple large predators could thrive, each occupying its own ecological niche, yet sometimes crossing paths in the great theatre of the wild. This unique zoological fact is more than just a piece of trivia. It is a powerful reminder of what India's wilderness represents. It is a land of contrasts and coexistence, where different worlds meet. The lion, often associated with the open plains of Africa, found a home in Asia. The tiger, a quintessentially Asian cat, reached its pinnacle here. Their shared history in India is a story of ecological wealth and complexity. Protecting the last of the Asiatic lions in Gir and securing the future of the tiger across the country is not just about saving two species. It is about preserving a unique and irreplaceable part of our planet's natural history. For all its ancient resilience and rich diversity, India's wildlife now faces its greatest challenge: the pressures of the modern world. A human population of over 1 billion people requires space, resources, and food. As cities expand, new roads and railways are built, and agricultural lands stretch further and further, the wilderness is inevitably pushed back. The forests are shrinking, and the ancient corridors that animals use to move between habitats are being fragmented or blocked entirely. This loss and fragmentation of habitat is the single biggest threat to the survival of countless species across the country. This relentless human expansion has led to a direct and often tragic conflict. When elephants find their traditional migration routes blocked by a new highway or a village, they may wander into farmlands, leading to crop damage and dangerous encounters with people. Tigers and leopards, with their territories shrinking, are sometimes forced to prey on livestock, which can lead to retaliatory killings by villagers who are simply trying to protect their livelihoods. This human-wildlife conflict is a complex and heartbreaking issue, a direct consequence of the shrinking space available for both people and animals to live. The pages of India's natural history are sadly marked by extinctions. We have already lost some magnificent creatures forever. The Indian cheetah, the fastest land animal on Earth, once roamed the grasslands of central India. It was declared extinct in the country in 1952, a victim of overhunting and habitat loss. Similarly, the Javan and Sumatran rhinoceroses, which once inhabited parts of the northeast, have also vanished from our lands. These losses are a stark and somber warning. They show us that even the most impressive species are vulnerable, and that extinction is final. The threats are not always as dramatic as a tiger disappearing. Many smaller, less famous species of birds, amphibians, reptiles, and insects are also at risk as their specialized habitats are destroyed. The pollution of our rivers threatens aquatic life, from the great Gangetic dolphin to the smallest fish. The use of pesticides in agriculture can have devastating effects on bird populations. The challenges are immense and interconnected, a complex web of environmental pressures that are pushing many parts of India's wild legacy to the very edge of survival. The vibrant tapestry of life is, quite honestly, beginning to fray at the edges. Faced with these mounting threats, India has not stood idly by. There is a growing awareness that this natural heritage is a treasure that must be protected. The country has embarked on a remarkable conservation journey, a determined fight to save its wildlife. A cornerstone of this effort is the creation of a vast network of protected areas. Over the decades, hundreds of national parks and wildlife sanctuaries have been established across the length and breadth of the country. These areas, like Corbett, Kanha, Kaziranga, and Periyar, act as safe havens where wildlife can exist with minimal human disturbance, and ecosystems are allowed to function naturally. Beyond creating general protected areas, India has also launched ambitious, species-specific conservation programs. The most famous of these is Project Tiger, initiated in 1973, when the tiger population had plummeted to dangerously low levels. This project has been a monumental effort, involving habitat protection, anti-poaching patrols, and community engagement. It has had its ups and downs, but it is credited with pulling the tiger back from the brink of extinction in India. Similar dedicated efforts, like Project Elephant, have been launched to protect other flagship species, addressing their specific needs and the unique threats they face, such as securing elephant corridors. The conservation mission extends to the aquatic realm as well. Recognizing the plight of our river giants, the government has declared the Gangetic dolphin as the national aquatic animal and launched conservation programs to protect it. This involves tackling river pollution, regulating fishing practices, and spreading awareness among communities living along the riverbanks. Similarly, there are dedicated projects for protecting the gharial, a critically endangered fish-eating crocodile, and for conserving coastal ecosystems and marine turtles. These efforts show a growing understanding that conservation must encompass all ecosystems, not just forests. This fight for survival is not just the work of the government. It involves the tireless efforts of scientists, forest guards who risk their lives on the front lines, non-governmental organizations, and countless local communities who have become partners in conservation. There is a growing movement for community-managed reserves and eco-tourism initiatives that provide livelihoods for local people, giving them a direct stake in protecting the wildlife around them. While the challenges remain enormous, this nationwide crusade for conservation offers a powerful ray of hope. It is honestly a testament to India's commitment to preserving its wild legacy for future generations. The story of India's wildlife is a saga of incredible resilience. It is a story of survival against the odds, from its ancient journey on a drifting continent to the modern-day challenges of a crowded world. The animals and forests that remain are the inheritors of this epic history, a living connection to a wild and magnificent past. The snow leopard in the Himalayas, the tiger in the jungle, the lion in Gir, and the elephant on the plains are not just animals. They are symbols of a natural heritage that is both uniquely Indian and a treasure for the entire world. They represent the untamed spirit of a land that has nurtured life in all its glorious forms. Protecting this legacy is not just a matter of sentiment, it is a matter of necessity. Healthy forests and ecosystems are crucial for our own survival. They clean our air, provide our water, and maintain the delicate balance of the climate. The web of life is intricate, and the loss of one species can have unforeseen consequences for the entire system. When we protect the tiger, we are also protecting the entire forest ecosystem that it lives in, along with the thousands of other species, from deer to insects to trees, that share its home. Conservation is, in the end, an investment in our own future, in the health of our planet. The path forward requires a shared vision and a collective effort. It requires wise governance, scientific research, and the active participation of every citizen. We must find ways for people and wildlife to coexist, to create landscapes where both can thrive. This means smart urban planning, sustainable development, and ensuring that local communities benefit from conservation. It means teaching our children to love and respect nature, to understand the value of a soaring eagle or a quiet forest stream. The hope for the future lies in our ability to see the natural world not as a resource to be exploited, but as a community to which we belong. India's wild legacy is a story that is still being written. The challenges are real, but so is the hope. The comeback of the tiger and the lion from the brink of extinction shows us that with determination, recovery is possible. The fight to save our wildlife is a fight for the soul of our nation, a commitment to preserve the beauty and wonder that has defined this land for millennia. It is our duty, as inheritors of this rich heritage, to ensure that future generations can also marvel at the roar of a tiger, the trumpeting of an elephant, and the incredible diversity of life that makes India so truly special. This is our promise to tomorrow. If you enjoyed our wildlife journey, don't forget to like and subscribe. Join Moradabad Wildlife Window and experience new adventures in nature every day. See you in the next episode.